This episode of What If It's Cool is brought to you by Respro Clothing. Respro Clothing, where you can get the latest merchandise from all the stars, including Luke Resner, Som, Savannah Rowe, Nova Nichols, and my personal favourite, Conflict Axiom. So make sure you check out Respro Clothing. You can find them on Facebook and on Instagram. Mayhem Pro presents Relentless Rumble 2, featuring the 20-person Relentless Rumble match, happening Saturday, November 4th. Ticket link is in description. Make sure to check it out. MXW's Wheel of Torture happening November 4th. Ticket link is in description. Make sure to check it out to see what's going to happen when each wrestler spins that wheel. Hello everyone. You know, Halloween is a strange holiday. Personally, I don't understand it. I mean, I live in Australia. Like, what do I know about Halloween? Kids worshipping ghosts, James Master making an OnlyFans, and things in podcasts that are completely inappropriate for the listeners. Nothing seems to bother my guests, but in this episode, which I completely washed my hands of, is really scary. And, well, maybe you should check out another episode of What If It's Cool, which is available wherever you get your podcasts, instead of leaving angry comments in the comment section. Thank you for your attention. Hello and welcome to What If It's Cool Podcast of Terror, the show where we talk about anything and everything that is spooky in the world today. I am Dr. Frankenstein's monster known as Daniel Paulgrove. On this episode, I have Blake Curtis and Harrison Quinero as we talk about our go-to movies that we watch on Halloween. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the What If It's Cool Podcast of Terrors. Boys, thank you so much for being part of the show. Harrison, I'm a little disappointed that you're not wearing a costume, you know? Like, what do you got to say for yourself?
Well, I wasn't able to find anything Versace on last minute as far as costume goes, so I'm still wearing a nice Versace robe here. This is the genuine one, not the one I wear out to the ring. But I brought a friend with me, if that helps.
Yeah, let's have a look. Who's your friend?
Surely you know Chucky. If we're on the theme of a Halloween episode, surely you know Chucky. And just to add to the little environment as well, there's a nice canvas of me in the background kicking a couple of people's heads in. So hopefully that adds to the horror aspect.
That's pretty cool. Blake, who are you? Because that is probably one of the best costumes I've ever seen.
Well, look, I feel like I dress like this every day. You know, I'm just in my natural element with my guns hanging out. But Duffman. I am Duffman for tonight.
Can you do your best Duffman impression?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, he's got it.
All right. Well, we're here on Halloween, and look, we don't generally celebrate Halloween here in Australia, but it like the last few years it's becoming more of a thing. I know when I was it was actually 20 years ago. I'm old. I actually tried to go trick-or-treating around my neighborhood in Mulgrave, and I got a shoe thrown at me. Which
okay.
That's not me joking around. I went next door. They didn't do anything. It wasn't until I got to the last one on the street, and she was this lovely old lady, but she just like, it's on America, and she just chucked a couple of shoes at us, and she got me a beauty on the back of the head. Thank you, Mrs. Harrison. I just realized I got Harrison Quinero on the show. That was her name, Miss Harrison.
Were they at least nice shoes? Were they like some Asics or some TNs or something?
No, it was just a slipper. She got me a beat on the back. Yeah,
that's the ultimate disrespect there.
But I do remember what costume I was wearing. I was wearing an Austin Powers costume, and in all honesty, if I could find the photo, and if you guys are watching, not listening, I'll try to put it here. But I don't know if I can find it. But it was the most stupidest costume ever. But
yeah, baby.
Oh my god, I miss those days.
That's so good.
Have you guys? Hang on, because both of you are much younger than I am. Have you guys ever gone trick or treating?
There was a long time ago. I did when I was a kid. I grew up in a pretty nice neighborhood, as hood rat as I am now. But it stopped after 1 year because I decided to dress up as Jason Voorhees for some reason. No, sorry, not Jason Voorhees, Leatherface. And for some reason, my father gave me an actual chainsaw to carry around the neighborhood.
Oh, no! Oh, my God.
bicep development was quite impressive at 8 years old if I was whipping that bad boy around for 3 hours and walking laps of the whole town. But understandably, when I turned it on, it did raise a few heads.
Oh my god! Hey, was it dechained or was it still had the chain on it?
I don't know. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but it made a very aggressive noise.
Oh my god! Blake, did you ever trick or treat?
Yeah, a few times as a kid. I lived in the suburbs in the southeast. So I loved it, and I love it when they come around now. So it's awesome to see that it's becoming a bit more popular now than it was before.
I'm like where I'm living at the moment. I've never had anybody come in costume or anything. Not even a knock at the door anymore. Like if I was back in Mulgrave, like I was getting maybe three or four knocks every Halloween for the last maybe I want to say 5 years. But well, I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, I'll say it. In Clayton, no one's coming in at my door. So if anyone in Clayton, I'm happy to give you some candy. Just be very don't wear a very scary costume because I'm easily frightened. Yeah. Well, we're here to talk about our go-to Halloween movies, and because I already know which movies we're all going to talk about, we'll go with the oldest one, which is actually Blake's one. Blake, what have you got to bring to the table?
The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can't remember when the first time I watched it, but I do remember the first scene where you see Leatherface just come out and just hit the hammer on one of the main characters, and it was just so brutal and just so terrifying that it just sticks with me today, and I have to always every Halloween go back and watch it again because it's just that good of piece of cinema that can't be replicated today.
That scene lives rent free in my head. Like I didn't even need to rewatch it because I've seen it that many times where I replay it. But that is the one thing because it was so real. Like especially when the guy's leg twitches, you're like, did he actually really hit them? Because like obviously if you know the backstory of filming Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there was a lot of like sort of guerrilla tactic filmmaking, and I feel like that was actually real. And I'm so glad it was just the guy was just a really good actor.
Yeah, one of the guys had said that when someone is hit in the head with a hammer, like the bone fragments would hit the brain, and then it would cause the body to shake and go into shock, which is what they did in the movie.
That'd be a good wrestling finisher.
Oh, like obviously Triple H had the sledgehammer. Just imagine him doing that for real and just like that. Speaking of that, whose finisher that would make great for, because he is a madman, probably Hex, I reckon. Not that I've ever seen him with a sledgehammer, but or with a hammer, but I reckon that would fit his character very well.
I've seen Hex do some pretty hectic stuff. I wouldn't want to give him more shit to play with personally.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Very scary man. That's why he is number 8 on my list of people who I'm generally scared of in the wrestling industry. If you guys have not seen Dream 3, which no, actually, wait, Blake, were you there or no?
No, I haven't been to Dream.
Nah. Well, me and Harrison were there. But I think
I was face, man. I think I was about 10 vodka Red Bulls and about 15 beers deep at that point.
Oh, explains why it took you a couple of minutes to realize it was me when you walked past me.
Oh, I didn't even know myself half the time, bro. That's okay.
Sorry to go off topic for a second, but he landed on a whole bunch of pincushion pins. There would have been, I don't know, I'm gonna say 50 of them in his lower back, and he still got up and beat the shit out of Weaver, and I can't remember who the other person was. I think it might have been Felix Young. And I imagine, geez, that was scary.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Yeah.
Bad man.
What's another memorable scene from that movie, Blake?
Maybe the dinner scene.
Oh, when she's sitting there and she realizes that everything's made out of bones. Yeah.
Yeah. That that was actually filmed for 27 hours. That one scene was done for 27 hours, and it is absolutely how do you say it? Haunting. Haunting would probably be a good word for it, because it's just imagine sitting yourself and being in that experience. That's what that is. That's what it's like.
What was
That's
it?
how you feel.
It was funny because it wasn't funny, but like the documentary I watched about it was they were saying that it was like in our terms probably like 40 degrees the entire time, and a lot of that was I think a lot of the bones and stuff were actually real, but obviously weren't human, but like animals and stuff. But apparently the stench, a lot of them were vomiting and all that stuff because like if you ever been on a farm where there's like a carcass or even just on the ground. That is brutal in 40-degree heat.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
I think one thing about that one that still haunts me, besides the hammer scene, is actually when Leatherface picks up one of the girls and puts it on the hook, like that, and it just it really reminds me of another very familiar scene with Wolf Creek where he sticks a knife in the girl's back. When he goes, yeah, I'm gonna treat like fish on a fucking hook. Can't do it.
And the craziest part about the movie is there's barely any gore. If you really think about it, there's barely anything.
Well, I think that's some of the things about for that generation of horror movies. Like it's more psychological sometimes, and then when you have the gore factor, especially because like everyone raves on it's a gore movie. It really isn't. There's only like maybe 2-3 scenes that's extremely gory, and it's just obviously the when the guy in the wheelchair gets slaughtered in the middle of the forest, and just some of the bits where they get put on a hook. They're not that gory at all. I don't even understand why it's got an R rating. I reckon it should be MA, to be honest.
It's not the gore. It's just more so the idea of it, and just thinking like, oh, what if a hook's going through your spine and all that, and it's it gives you the heebie-jeebies. But it's good. It's simple but effective, because back then, like, you just didn't have the cinematography or the special effects to do all that crazy stuff. Like in the original Friday the 13th, all the blood just looked like sauce, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was shocking. It was so thick and ridiculously red for what it is, but you got the idea, and it was still good film for the time.
Well, it still holds up, and like it was. I'm pretty sure it was banned in Australia. It was banned in Australia, right? For a
little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I think if you got a film that's banned, I think that's what makes it a little bit more like, oh, I want to watch this on Halloween, because like, well, why was it banned? I watched this at 18 years old, and I remember saying to my mate who brought it to my attention, why the was this banned? And then because I had no idea that the events were actually based on a true story, even though it should be loosely based, because it was about a guy who did something very similar, but
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein, yeah. But apparently he had there was like several movies that are based on Ed Gein. There was even a movie called Ed Gein, but there was no chainsaw in any of them. He just killed them.
It actually starred one of the guys who played Jason Voorhees too.
Oh yeah.
Which one was that? Do you remember what movie that was?
Ed Gein.
Oh, so that was the movie Ed Gein. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. I reckon that'd be a movie for us to check out and just see how. Well, hang on, have you seen it, or was it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Was it good?
It's okay. It's it's definitely B grade.
Okay, when we go B grade, are we talking about Bruce Campbell level B grade, or like Insane Clown Posse trying to make a horror movie B grade?
Yeah, definitely ICP.
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 God. I love
Yeah, I like
ICP, but some of their movies are pretty. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So I've never seen one of them, but you can at least give it a shot. I'll just say that I'm not going to go back and watch it again, but at least I can say I've seen it.
But hang on, so what exactly is it because that makes you to want to watch it on Halloween? Is it just because of that one scene with the hammer, or you watched it on Halloween? That's the reason why you like it. What's talk me through that?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's always on my list of movies that I have to watch for every day of October.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I watch it outside of October as well, but
No, you can only watch this movie in October.
Yeah.
Never. You're just not allowed.
I agree with that. I wouldn't want to watch it any other time.
I think it's just the whole movie, man. Like it just pulls you in with just that intense feeling of realism.
All right, and that's fair. It's just like when we talk about my film, like I obviously mine, just got a lot of horror movie elements. It was just like when I said, "What's your go-to horror movie?" You pulled. That's like wondering why, but if it's the real elements, I respect that. But
you're probably right though, because just from experience, having cut someone up with a chainsaw before, there's not that much. Actually, sorry, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but hey, wait, what? Hang on, what are you telling me? Red flag?
What?
No, but I totally get it, man. It's just if it says a lot about you if you watch it outside of Halloween or out of October. Hang on, do you want me to take that out of that? Or
no, I'm just kidding. Keep it. Okay. It's a bit of a.
No, but it like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is always going to live in my heart as one of the movies you watch during Halloween. But I don't understand. I can't understand why you watch it outside of Halloween though. That's what I can't understand.
Sick in the head.
It's just if you're feeling like watching something like that, you go and watch it.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
As long as it's not that Netflix remake continuation that they released last year.
That wasn't that bad.
I agree with Harry. Hang on.
2009.
If someone is getting a chainsaw through them, they don't go like that. It was.
Daniel, how would you go if you had a chainsaw to you?
Shall we give this a shot? Just see what happens.
I would probably scream in pain and throw my arms like,
but also the ending of that where she gets like yanked straight out and then like that.
Look, was it silly? Maybe.
Yeah.
But did I enjoy it myself? Yes, I enjoyed it. It's like how a lot of people hated the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I like that.
I personally enjoyed it, and also the prequel after.
Yeah,
I still enjoyed it, but other people have different opinions. But with the Netflix one, I still enjoyed it.
Wasn't
just me. Yeah.
I reckon you're the only two.
A lot of these horror films get a bad rep. They're not that bad at all.
Yeah. Would I give it a high rating? No. But is it above average? Yeah, maybe.
It would be better. I'd give it a 5-star rating if it was in the Tokyo Dome, but but no, we're not. So it was good, but it wasn't great. I could watch it again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Harry on that.
Wow. I'm just blown away that you guys like that movie.
Wasn't bad at all. I'm not sure what you're watching.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Wait, man. Them's fighting words.
Them's fighting words.
Them's fighting words.
Oh God. Yeah. All right. We'll move on. I'm not going to dig myself into a further grave. It's. Yeah.
We'll just remember, we got to see each other on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, by the time this comes out, people won't know, but we're both working at Alpha Pro Wrestling, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that Mr. Blake Curtis is probably going to kick my head in on Sunday. So just make sure to check out the footage of that on the Alpha Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, which will be link in description there. Well, we'll move on. So the movie that I'm picking, because obviously yours is from the 70s, mine's from the 80s. I'm doing a movie called The Monster Squad. Now, firstly, have either of you heard this movie? Because every time I bring this up into any of my my friends groups, none of them have heard of it. Have you guys heard of it?
Monster Squad, is that the one with it's got like Dracula and Frankenstein, and it's got like
the one and the same.
Yeah. That's the one with I think, was it Andre Gower or something like that?
Hang on, I'll look it up. Actually, that's a good point. I don't know. I don't know. Andre Gower.
Yes.
So
I heard it somewhere.
Yeah. So you've heard of it. Blake, how about yourself?
I have never heard of it until you told me about it. So I watched the trailer and I was interested. So it's something I'm gonna have to look at.
Well, so this is a movie that came out in '87, and I was only 1 year old. But I remember watching this at 4 years old, and I remember it scared the living shit out of me simply because the last 10 minutes, which is basically all the monsters fighting with the kids, and it was actually when Andre's character stabbed Dracula in the heart, because it basically. Just not to reveal too much about the movie, but he was just being sucked into a vortex, and just it looked so real when the stake went into his heart. It was for a 4-year-old to watch that, and this is branded a kids movie too. Scary, man. Like I don't even understand why my parents let me watch it, because apparently it's an M-rated movie, even in the States. Over here it's not PG-13. It's actually, I think it's like MA as well. But this is like, if you want to go for a Halloween movie, like, this is good because it's got all the monsters in there: Dracula, Frankenstein, the creature from the Blue Lagoon, the mummy, and the werewolf, which coins the phrase "Wolfman's got nards." Basically, like the two of the main characters are being hunted by the werewolf, and just because they had to get away, he kicked him in the balls, and he's like, "Oh, Wolfman's got nards." Oh shit. And this is also a movie that. It could never be made today because of all the language that they use in terminology they use in this one is not PC.
And how much it would cost to use all those different copyrighted characters, but
yeah, that too. But I like one thing I think it had going for it is it was actually written by the guy who created Lethal Weapon, Shane Black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
also a great film.
Yeah, well, like one of the just side note, one of another episode we could possibly do in the future. What's the better Christmas film, Lethal Weapon or Die Hard?
Neither of them are Christmas films.
Don't be like that, Harry.
Yes, they take place during Christmas, but
yeah,
Santa Claus does not appear. You do not learn the meaning of Christmas from these people. It's I hate Christmas. I hate Christmas.
Halloween's where it's at.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
It's my favorite just because it was just an excuse to get loose of all the boys, walk around shirtless. It was great. It was great. Drink yourself stupid.
But like, honestly, if you guys have never watched the Monster Squad, I highly recommend it, because like all the elements are there for Halloween. You got all your all the the main monsters in the what were they called, the Universal monsters era, but it's just wholesome fun. Like a lot of like, have you guys ever watched the TV series F is for Family?
Oh, I've watched a few episodes.
Now, if you watch that all the way through, there is so many bloody references that actually came from the Monster Squad. Like when Kevin Murphy is actually riding his bike and he turns just to get off I can't remember the bully's name. Basically, pulling that's actually picture by picture of the actual scene when one of the guys comes into the shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like there's so many references, but Yeah, I highly recommend that. It is you can actually watch it on the Internet Archive, which is free. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely look up the Internet Archive. And yeah, it's not a great copy, but at least you get the gist of it, and it's a fucking good movie. I really really enjoy it. Well, now we're going to come to a movie that me and Blake were talking to before, and I'm going to blame Harrison Quinero for this because I didn't get one fucking minute of sleep last night. Harrison,
But was it?
What movie was it?
So the movie I want to talk about is called Talk to Me Now. It's an Australian film, which, you know, if you know Australian films, there's not that many good Australian horror movies really, but it's a great film. It's made by first-time directors as well, from Danny and Michael Filippo as well, the Rucka Rucka Boys, which are actually incredibly talented fake fighters too. If you actually watch some of their old YouTube stuff. But casting of this was perfect. Just depicts a good small town, like old New South Wales. Picture something like Parramatta mixed with Mount Druitt. That's what this town would be like, because you do have like cast members who are that whole Parramatta, like beachside towns, like Miranda Otto, who plays Sue, the mum, who was actually great in that film.
Oh, she was fantastic.
Yeah. It's just so much good stuff as well. Chris Alessio as well, who played Joss, the big fob, which, you know, God bless the boy, he's good, man. And Zoe Turkis as well, who plays Haley. I just thought her character was hilarious. But for such a modern film, it goes back to old horror movie stuff with just simple and effective things where you have stuff like the talking or the hand which transports you and everything like that. Possession. That's basically it. There's no overcomplicated storylines or anything like that. It's a good film. You can sit back, you can relax, or not in your case, just relax. But for me, I went to the movies with a friend of mine and we watched it, and she told me, she was just like, it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, what do you mean? It's hilarious. It was good. I think a horror film can make you laugh. And especially, there's a scene that I love. It's when her younger brother, Riley, he's doing the talking hand thing. And he holds on for too long. And he starts smacking his head against the table. And his nose is busted. His eyebrows are burst. His eyes are blackened and everything like that. Even the opening scene too, like when I forgot the guy's name, but his brother showed up to the party to get him. And takes him out.
I can't remember his name.
And he grabs the kitchen knife and stabs his brother and then stabs himself through the face. I'm like, that's wild, man. Good old school horror film stuff.
Yeah.
But with a very modern twist, obviously.
Oh, it was just hang on, Blake. What was the scene that really, because you did say that there was a couple of things for you. What's the scene that made you go, oh?
I must say, I thought that was a brilliant film, and honestly, in my personal opinion, the best Australian film to have come out in most recent times. Fight me on it, but that's what I believe. Yeah. But that opening scene, was not expecting that at all, and I'm glad I didn't expect it at all. I regret not going to the movies to see this.
So do I.
That's how I feel about this movie.
Well, I'll pick two bits that really got me. So obviously you're talking about the headbutting scene and all that stuff. That wasn't the one that made me like that. It was actually the second one when he's getting showered and everything, and he starts licking the blood off the ground. Like I actually really wanted to vomit. I had to stop it and just go walk around and just I was really gonna be sick. It was the most disgusting thing I've seen in Australian cinema in quite some time. Probably the other one that really grossed me out. I still can't believe people do this. The toe sucking scene, like what the? Oh.
Quentin Tarantino would have been having a field day watching that.
Oh no, I know, the man. I just thought that was the funniest thing ever, because I don't know, it reminds me of something of just, it's so drunk Australian teenage dumb you do. I love it. And it wouldn't have even been out of place if he wasn't possessed.
Oh,
It wouldn't have been out of place.
you wouldn't expect that out of an American film, that's for sure. Like you're right, it is definitely Aussie. Yeah.
I've got to say that the one other scene that truly stood out for me was when they're sitting by the hospital bed and the little ghost girl shows where the boy is at.
Oh yeah, that was haunting.
And I was like, the sense of hopelessness in that scene. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is just perfect.
The one of the best things about this movie as well, because like it was literally, I think it was like not even 10 minutes into the film, I totally forgot it was actually made in Australia and it's an Aussie movie. Like I think that's some of the best things about the latest Aussie movies coming out. You forget it's actually made in Australia because like there's so many movies that do get released, but it's an Australian movie. This one did not have that feel at all.
You got to keep in mind as well, like this is a first time directing job.
Mm.
And they're going to make a sequel out of this because it was so successful. They filmed this during like the lockdowns and everything.
I thought they only did this fairly recently. I didn't realize they did it during lockdown.
No. So I heard a story that was talking about it, and like if you remember the scene where they connect to the other side, and it's that woman who drowned. Also, visual effects in this are unreal, great stuff.
Definitely.
But she had to be flown in from Victoria, sent up to New South Wales, quarantined for 7 days, sit in makeup for like 6 hours. For 20 seconds of film time, go back and quarantine again, and that's her 20 seconds of pain.
Oh God.
Oh God, I really don't miss lockdown.
No, that was a horror movie in itself, man.
You think they would make a movie that would be element that as well, and maybe that's an idea that they can do in the future. Speaking of which, I should probably try to get them on the show and actually talk about this. I reckon, because I think they're still back in Perth, aren't they? Or they're back in LA.
Who's this? The Filippo boys?
Yeah, because I know they went to LA. But I think they went back to do filming or something like that. I might try to get them on the show. So, boys, Filippo boys, we'll be in touch. But
shout out, big since I was 14 years old, big fan.
Probably should get you on the show when I do have them on. I reckon. So you can. But it's funny because they're like me and Blake were talking about this before. You got guys who are just mainly doing comedy skits, stupid prank videos, and then they've gone to make an incredibly brilliant movie like this. Like, fucking good on them for doing it like that. Yeah. And being in Australia too to make a movie like this, and it's now getting international plays. Like, good on them. I'm very proud of the boys.
Yeah, I think blew up.
But the sequel's going to be a prequel, apparently. Supposedly. I was doing a bit of research, and that's what they're trying to do, because apparently they're going to be doing finding out. So it's going to be the events of the guy who killed himself at the start, and they're going to be going. They're going to go back. They're going, and how he got the hand. But
right.
Can I just stress this to all the little kiddies that might be listening / watching this? If your friends have got some kind of evil demonic thing, don't fucking play with it. Like I was screaming at my computer when I was watching it last night. Like, even when I was like rebellious and all, there is no chance in hell I would ever play with something like that and have a good time, or even film it. Like, that.
Yeah, there was a few back in the day. I remember a couple of the boys had the Ouija boards, and they were pretty whack. Nothing ever happened with me. I think I moved once, but it's got to be my friend who was dicking around with it. And I don't know if you remember way back in the day, it was a Charlie stuff as well on the paper.
Oh God, yeah! Oh, don't even get me started on that one. That I still have some nightmares of that.
There's always something, and I remember once when we were kids, we would play Biggie Smalls in the mirror. We say Biggie Smalls 3 times.
Oh my God!
And Biggie Smalls would appear.
See, that's all right because Biggie's a nice guy. Well, Biggie wasn't a nice guy. I don't think that would have been any bad.
He had to get to Satan's birthday party, and he wasn't a nice guy.
Yeah, because he was pissed.
He's missing out on the biggest party of the century.
What the fuck were you kids playing about when you were kids? Like, Jesus Christ, this is scary as
It's a South Park episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm thinking, oh my god.
The game where you would say, there was obviously Bloody Mary when you were a kid as well.
Yeah, I remember that. I was never dumb enough to do that. Oh god, I'm having really bad flashbacks now. If I didn't sleep last night, boys, I'm just from us talking right now. I'm not gonna have any sleep tonight. Maybe for the whole rest of the week. I don't think. Hang on, speaking of all that stuff, what kind of like, have you guys ever done any of that stupid shit yourselves or not?
Yeah, like I was saying before, like we used a Ouija board, but I'm sure it was the other boy moving it and just being a dick, you know. What about yourself? What have you done? Like, sorry.
All good. Nah.
No.
Refuse to touch that stuff. Because you know, I've watched enough movies to know not to. I'm a survivalist, is what I am.
Make life decisions on, it's a movie, bro. If there's anything to make good life decisions on, it's movies.
Yeah. But no. But you would think that a whole bunch of kids who watch movies and stuff, and if let's say hypothetically Talk to Me was real, you would think that after watching a whole bunch of movies they wouldn't do that sort of shit. Then, oh god, because like I remember like heaps of people in my school would want to do shit like that. I remember someone brought a Ouija board to school one day. I was like, I get that thing away from me. I don't want nothing to do with it. And I still remember older relatives of mine would do the Bloody Mary thing too. Huh?
Let them do it. You don't have to do it.
I ran. I bolted tomorrow. So I was like, I knew what that is. I'm out of here, dude. Like, I still don't understand their logic of like bringing it to school. I'm pretty sure they got in trouble for bringing it too, but it was just like, dude, you're playing with because like supposedly the school that I went to was haunted. It wasn't, but that's what they were trying to do it for.
We could bring cigarettes to school, but you couldn't bring a plank of wood with some letters on it. Jeez, backwards world.
Oh god. I'm really not going to have any sleep tonight, boys. Thank you for that. But then again, this is my idea to have you guys on and for us to talk about it. So, yeah, I got no one to blame but myself on this. But boys,
Happy Halloween, brother.
Happy Halloween. Well, thank you, boys, for being part of this Halloween episode. Hopefully next year we get some more people involved on this one and we talk a little bit more, maybe and have some more horror stories of our own that we can share. But firstly, we'll go with the beautiful Blake Curtis. Where can we find you on all your socials?
You can find me on the Blake Curtis on Instagram. That's pretty much all you'll really find me on. I'm on Twitter as well, X, whatever you want to call it, under the Blake Curtis as well. And yeah, just check out our Conflict Axiom Instagram. It's just Conflict Axiom. So yeah, you can check us out there.
Yeah, and buy their merch. That's for sure.
Yeah, the most important.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm dressed up as James Marshall, so I'm circa James Marshall last week with the beard, got the backwards cap on, and the lovely t-shirt. So Blake, 10%
got my cap on too.
10% coming my way, yeah. Or do I have to talk to the boss about that?
Yeah, you'll have to talk to the boss about
that. Fair enough. Harrison, how about yourself?
Oh, you can find me at Harrison Quinero on Instagram, just like this. It's the one with the little verified tick on it. All the good content as well. But currently I'm dealing with a few injuries as far as professional wrestling goes. I've got a very damaged rotator cuff. I actually tore my gluteus maximus the other week. And I've also got 3 compound fractures in my right foot. So we're taking a little breather from wrestling.
Ooh.
So you can find me at Sky Weekends or Sky Strippers on most weekends. And that's where we're going to be doing this as well. So we're also available for bookings.
Yeah. It sounds like a good venture. Is anyone welcome to go to those Sky events or anything?
Everyone's welcome to come. we get fun, we dance, we knock back a few bottles. I got the day off tomorrow, so I polished off a bottle of Henny while I was on the show. I'd like to see you put together a clip of whatever has been. If you can watch me during the show, put together a little clip of me knocking this bad boy back. But
it's all good fun.
Anyone's welcome to these shows. We have a massive show over in November, which is we've almost packed it out. We've almost sold about 150 tickets. So joining on. Yeah, would love to see everyone there.
Yeah,
But
I'll definitely plug this.
Keep in mind, you will be seeing a considerable more amount of me than you would in a professional wrestling ring.
Really?
Yes.
Where's my fucking credit card? If you guys don't know by now, I'm the simp for Harris Quinero and the unofficial mascot of Conflict Axiom, and I've got both of them on here right now, so that's perfect.
One more while I've got everyone on here.
Yeah.
I just want to ask a little Halloween question. I'm a big Simpsons fan, especially because Mr. Blake Curse is wearing the Duffman outfit. What is your favorite or go-to Treehouse of Horror segment?
Oh, that's a good one. Hang on, I'll go. Blake, you go first. I should try to remember which one it is.
Oh man, put me on the spot. I might have to go with where Willie is like Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. I've actually got two because
has the freeze in the class. He's having the freak out. It's just followed by silence and Nelson in the background. Oh, magnificent.
That was great. I've got two. My first one is just because I'm a big Edgar Allan Poe fan. The Raven bit. And simply because it still scares me to a certain degree. And I did talk to Nova Nichols about this as well on her episode. The Dracula episode with Mr. Burns, like that was fucking freaky. Like especially like all comics aside, when he super happy fun slide or whatever it was going down, and then all of a sudden Bart gets captured by Mr. Burns, and he goes, "Well, isn't little boy?" And then the fangs come out. That still scared the shit out of me, dude. Like,
and there was something about the earlier on episodes where it wasn't a normal Simpsons opening. Like when you were a kid watching that, and it was just Marge saying, "Oh, hello, this is the children," or something like that. That kind of made you feel like, oh, this is a really scary episode, or I should be watching this.
It reminds me of the openings to or the opening for the original Frankenstein movie. The guy would come out and just tell you like what's about to happen. Yeah, it was the best.
Man, that I think that's what we miss in horror these days. Is something like that, like the old Alfred Hitchcock days of Alfred coming out and it's like good evening and introducing what you're about to see, something like that. I miss that. How about you? Hang on. How about you, Harrison? What's your favorite Simpson bit?
If I were to go for a go-to spot, it's either the Shining reboot or the Shining. Reasons, obviously. That was good, and that whole episode of all three segments where Willie just ends up getting stabbed in the spine. That's always a good go-to.
I'm not good at this.
I love when Homer goes into another dimension when he's trying to hide from Patty and Selma when they visit.
The 3D episode, yeah?
And he hides up in the 3D dimension.
I just watched that.
That was always a good episode, and like it tripped me out when I was a kid watching it for the first time when he went into the actual when he went to the human portal. It was just weird to see. So that's the original Three Houses of Horror. They actually had character. They were actually fun to watch. These new Simpsons episode just pains me, but what can you do?
It's I don't want to be that guy, but I'm gonna have to be that guy. It's ran for too long. It's ran for way too long. They should have. I reckon maybe from season 12, they probably should have stopped it.
Yeah,
I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I'm just gonna be flat and honest. It's not been that good since then. To be, if I'm honest,
no, they've had their moments, but
All right, hang on. Name me 3 like good moments that have happened in the last 10 years on The Simpsons.
What, from season 10?
No. For just in general, like since then, like I don't think there's anything that comes to mind. And don't say the movie because that doesn't count.
No, I love the Lady Gaga episode.
Okay, that's one.
No, I'm kidding. From season 10, there was a bunch. Season 12 was actually way ahead of its time, and it still holds up to this day. I think it's just as soon as you hit that bench, like that Lady Gaga episode was just that was the death of it, because you've done everything and you've had to resort to basing episodes solely on celebrity appearances, and that doesn't count the Michael Jackson episode either, because that wasn't technically Michael Jackson. It was, but yeah.
Oh, they never advertised it as being Michael Jackson. I wasn't until I saw the DVD of it, and actually did say it actually was Michael Jackson. I went, oh, I just thought it was a guy doing a really good impression of him, but
it was Trey Parker doing Mr. Jefferson again.
That was a good episode.
Oh, jeez.
I think the only other episode that I can think of that I really loved, like past 12, is probably the one where they get a horse and they start doing the race circuit with Bart. I think that's the only one. I think that's the only one I can think of that I actually really like. Because like the only other thing I can think of that I kind of liked is when the episode where Gal Gadot was in it. That was it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but
yeah, it's not memorable, but but at least it was like kind of in the right direction to where it needed to be. But then it just went downhill again. Oh God! We should probably get because Nova's a big Simpsons fan. We should probably do an episode about the Simpsons and and just talk about the good old days of the Simpsons, not what it is.
I could talk for hours, man. I could talk for hours.
It would be an idea. Would be an idea in the future. But boys, thank you so much for being part of the Halloween episode of Whatever's Cool. Don't eat too many candies out there. Make sure that you're checking for razor blades if you're getting candy apples, and don't scare too many people, especially you, Harrison, because that bloody painting, that portrait in the back is very scary. And you got Chucky there with you too.
I do. If I ever need to break out the big guns, I'll bring out this fella here. So that's good. He's a big one too.
All right, thanks, boys.
No worries. Peace out.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, man.
And that's the end of that episode. Want to be featured on What If It's Cool, or know someone with an amazing story that needs to be told? Reach out to me. I can be reached on whatifitscoolbusiness@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Want more for What If It's Cool? Make sure to check out the YouTube channel where you can find latest episodes of mukbanging around, reaction, and of course the vodcast. And don't forget to follow What If It's Cool on all socials. It can be found at What If It's Cool. Keep that sport coming. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.